Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again from the OREI team with an overview of the UHD-44 MVW 4-input, 4-output HDMI matrix and video wall controller. This single product is really two products in one. It's an HDMI matrix that allows you to very easily connect 4 different HDMI media devices to 4 ultra-high definition monitors at the same time, while providing complete control over which of those HDMI media streams is being displayed on each one of the monitors at any given time by simply tapping a button on the front of the unit, or by using the infrared remote control that's included with the kit, or by connecting the unit to your local network and opening a web browser, or through a direct RS-232 connection to a local computer. But it's also a video wall controller that can operate in one of 2 modes. In video wall mode, it will display a single input across all 4 monitors combined into a giant video wall. And in multi-view mode, it will actually display all 4 inputs on the same monitor at the same time. And it provides 9 different video wall modes and 12 different multi-view modes that you can easily select between by tapping a button on the remote. The product fully supports 4K ultra-high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.0 as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant, which means it's going to work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. The kit includes a set of infrared blasters for all 4 inputs in case you mount this inside of a cabinet, as well as an infrared extender, again, that will pick up the remote control signals outside of a cabinet or a wiring closet. The product also provides both audio injection and audio extraction capabilities, which allows you to enhance the audio by passing it along to a soundbar or home stereo through an analog or a digital connection for that full theater experience. Now, as part of this overview, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the unit and explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. I'll list the features and functions the product provides, and then I'll come back and do a short demonstration to show you just how easy the product will be to use with your own equipment. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first open up the box, you'll find the unit. You'll also find a single 12-volt 2.5 amp DC power supply. This end can plug into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it with a locking collar that plugs directly into the DC port on the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find an RS-232 connection cable if you choose to manage this from a local computer. You'll find 4 transmitters for the infrared blasters and 4 receivers, as well as an infrared extender. There's also a bracketing kit included that you can use to mount this up off the ground or in a cabinet, and you'll find connection blocks for the audio extraction and injection. You'll also find an infrared remote control, which is really nice because it allows you to make your selections from a distance away from the product. A warranty card and a full instruction manual is also included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important details about the product that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll list the features and functions, and then I'll come back and do that demonstration. The product features a full metal enclosure, which makes it incredibly durable, and really the perfect choice for both residential and commercial installations. On either side of the cabinet, you'll find ventilation slots that are designed to let any heat that develops during operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a comfortable temperature. You'll also find mounting holes on both sides that can be used with the included bracketing kit to mount this in a standard wiring closet or a media cabinet. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a full digital display that lists configuration settings and the current status of the product. To the right of that is a power indicator. The minute you add power to the unit and turn it on, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics, and once it passes that test, it'll light that LED letting you know the unit's ready to use. Below that is an infrared receiver window that's used with the included remote control, and that's where the signals from that remote are picked up. So when you set this up on your media cabinet, make sure that window is visible. If you put it inside of a wiring closet, you'll need to use the infrared extender, and I'll show you where that plugs in a minute. To the right of that are 4 buttons labeled Output 1, 2, 3, and 4 and Input 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this is where you can choose which input is being sent to which output. And to do that, you'll select the output you'd like to change and then tap whichever input you'd like sent to that output. So for example, if you'd like output number 1 to be input number 2, you would tap this button first, then tap that button. Now you can send the same input to all 4 outputs or mix and match the inputs with the outputs as needed. To the right of that are 3 mode buttons labeled Matrix, Multiviewer, and Video Wall. This is where you choose the basic function of the product, either Matrix, Multiviewer, where multiple inputs can be shown on the same screen, or video wall that will combine all 4 outputs into a large video wall that you can send one of the inputs to. To the right of that is a menu button you can use to change the configuration settings, as well as up and down that allows you to step through the different configuration settings available. Once you've made your selection, hit the enter button to lock that in. To the right of that is a power button that can be used to turn the unit on and off, and below that is a lock button. When you tap that lock button, it basically disables all of the buttons on the front of the unit until you tap it again. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left you'll find 2 network connections. A standard IP connection you can connect to your local network if you'd like to use the browser function to control the product, and to the right of that is an RS-232 port that can connect to a local computer with the included cables, and you can control it from that computer. To the right of that, on the top, you'll find audio inputs for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is where you can inject audio to the video you're displaying at your remote locations. Below that are infrared blaster ports. There are 4 labeled infrared in and 4 that are labeled infrared out. And this is where the infrared blaster kits connect. And you'll want to make sure you plug the input ones here and the output ones there. To the right of that is the infrared extender port, a 3.5mm port. And again, if you're using this inside of a media cabinet and you want to use the remote control, you can plug that last infrared blaster in here and then locate it outside the cabinet. To the right of that on the top are audio outputs, and you have a choice for each one of the HDMI connections, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And each of these provides both a digital SPDIF output as well as an analog left and right output. And you can connect these to any audio component you've got, like a soundbar or a home stereo, for better quality audio. Below that, you'll find 4 HDMI ports labeled input, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 4 more labeled output, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The inputs connect to whatever media devices you'd like to display in your output monitors, and the output connections connect to the 4 monitors you'd like to use to enjoy the content from your input devices. To the right of that is a power port, and that's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there, and a locking collar you can finger tighten to make sure it doesn't pop out. And then finally, to the right of that, you'll find a ground lug. You can ground this to earth ground if you'd like, using a short wire. On the bottom of the unit are 4 rubber feet that help to protect the surface you set it down on and keep it from sliding around during operation. The OREI UHD-44 MVW is compatible with all modern HDMI media products, including game consoles, media players like Apple TV, digital projectors, streaming devices, and computer systems. The product's features include full support of 4K ultra-high definition media content. It can act as a 4x4 video matrix. It is both HDMI 2.0 as well as HDCP 2.2 compliant. It also provides a complete video wall controller function and allows for control of the unit through the web, RS-232 direct connection, and the included infrared remote control. Now I'll show you the connections you'll need to make to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up 4 small media players, each of them displaying a different image just to make it easy to tell them apart. This is the media content I'd like to enjoy on my output devices. Over here, I've set up 4 monitors in a 2x2 configuration, and this is where I'd like to enjoy the content from those media devices. In front of me, I have the UHD-44 MVW. Now, the first set of connections I'll make are from the media players directly to the product, and I've already connected a single high-speed HDMI cable up to each of the players. The other end of those cables plug into the HDMI input ports on the back of the unit. So I'll plug this into number 1, number 2, number 3, and finally number 4. And once I've made those connections, we can actually connect up the output monitors to the HDMI output ports here. Now with the monitors, it's important to understand which monitor is plugged into which HDMI output port, because in video wall mode, this unit will break up the media stream into 4 segments, and it has to display those on the correct monitor to create that giant video wall. So I've already connected the cables to the monitors and I've labeled them so I know which one plugs into which output. This is output number 1, output number 2, output number 3, and output number 4. And for this demonstration, this is output 1, output 2, output 3, and output 4. And I'll show you how that works in video wall mode in a minute. We're all set for power. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of the cable has this barrel connection on it, which plugs directly into the DC port in the back of the unit. And I'll plug that in now. And the minute I plug that in, the unit starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking the electronics, it's checking the resolution of the input devices and the resolution of the monitors to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture on the output. And that takes a couple of seconds to complete, and once it does, you'll see the images come up. Now, currently I'm in matrix mode, which gives me complete control over which of those inputs is sent to each one of the outputs, and I can change that by tapping the buttons on the front of the unit, using the remote control, or I can connect it up to my local area network and open a web browser, or even through an RS-232 connection to a local computer. So there's a lot of ways to make those choices. Right now I've got input 1 going to output 1, input 2 to output 2, and so on. So the matrix gives me complete control, again, over which of those media streams are displayed in each one of the monitors, and I can even pick the same input stream across all 4 monitors if I choose to do that. But this unit also offers video wall mode, which will take one of the inputs and display it across all 4 monitors at the same time, creating a giant video wall. And to access that mode, you can tap the button on the front, or you can hit this button on the remote control. And it takes a second to readjust the images, and it's going to display input number 1 as a giant video wall. So that's pretty nice that you can actually pick the input and display it as a giant output. The final mode this product provides is Multiviewer mode, and what that'll do is take several of the inputs and display them on the same monitor at the same time. Now the unit provides 9 video wall modes and 12 multiviewer modes, and I've selected one of those now. It's a picture-in-picture mode, and to access the multiviewer function, you can tap this button or tap the button on the front. And I'll tap that. And what you'll see is multiple inputs on the same screen. Right now it's set up with input 1 and input 2 on the same screen, but I can change those again by tapping the buttons on the front. I also have 12 different video modes I can go into with this multi-viewer function, so I can adjust this as needed to have all 4 inputs on the screen at the same time. And the nice thing about this unit is it's really 3 functions in one. It's a matrix, which again gives you control over what input goes to what output. It's a video wall mode product where it can actually create a giant video wall from one of those inputs. And it's got multi-viewer capabilities as well, which again allows you to combine multiple inputs on a single output at the same time. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope you found this overview of the OREI UHD-44 MVW helpful. A product like this that combines multiple functions into a single unit can be incredibly helpful in any media setup. For example, as an HDMI matrix, it allows you to easily connect 4 different HDMI media devices to 4 ultra-high definition monitors at the same time, while providing complete control over which of the inputs is displayed on each one of the monitors at any given time, so you can actually display the same input across all 4 monitors or mix and match to meet your needs. And you can control that by tapping a button on the front, again using the infrared remote control, or you can connect this to your local network and control it from anywhere on that network, or you can directly connect it to a local computer if you choose to do that. In video wall mode, it will display one of the inputs across all 4 monitors that have been combined into a giant video wall, and you can choose which input is being displayed on that wall. And again, in multi-viewer mode, it will display multiple inputs on the same monitor at the same time, and you have complete control over all those selections. The inclusion of the infrared blasters means you can easily mount this inside of a cabinet or a wiring closet and still control the content you're watching. The same is true for the infrared extender, which allows you to use a remote control outside of the cabinet. The audio injection and extraction capabilities means that you can enhance the audio by passing it along to a soundbar or home stereo for better quality audio. And finally, the fact that the product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2 compliant means it's going to be plug and play compatible with all of your modern media gear. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.